The placenta. So there's so much I could say about the placenta. There's a wealth of knowledge out there, and I recommend that you get this book by Robin Lim. It's called Placenta, the Forgotten Chakra. And this book will tell you everything you need to know, from the role of the placenta in the pregnancy to once the placenta is born, and then after, what healing benefits the placenta has for the woman and her baby, and the myriad of things you can do with the placenta after it's born. So why did I mention placenta? Because quite often people who I meet who are wanting to have a natural birth at home ask me about the lotus birth. What is a lotus birth? Well, top and bottom line is, when the baby's born in the hospital, the midwife or the doctor there would usually clamp and cut your baby's umbilical cord. With a lotus birth, what we're asking for is for that process to be delayed. There is blood that will be pumped from the placenta to your baby, and your baby needs this extra blood. It belongs to your baby. And so what will happen is you allow that process to happen. It could take up to an hour, but it could be much quicker. And then you would delay clamping then and cutting the cord. Some people want what's called a full lotus birth, and that's where you leave the cord attached to its placenta and you do not cut it at all. What happens is, just the way that after you've seen babies who have their cords clamped, within maybe like 3 to 7 days, the extra piece, it just falls away naturally. Well, it's the same process with a full lotus birth. The cord and the placenta just detach naturally from the baby in one whole unit, leaving your baby's belly button looking exactly the same way it did if the cord was clamped and cut. And that's what a lotus birth is. Now, there is a rise in popularity for the lotus birth because it has so many healing benefits, as mentioned earlier, for the baby and for the mother. Of all my pregnancies, I had a lotus birth with my last baby, and there was something that was very special about having the placenta in the room. My hormone levels never dropped. I never got the baby blues, so it helps with postpartum depression, definitely. Also the healing process. As I mentioned earlier, with my first baby, I hemorrhaged. So therefore there was a fear that with all the subsequent pregnancies that I would again have a hemorrhage. If you have one, according to midwifery, then you're going to have others. And the more babies you have, the greater the risk for postpartum hemorrhage is. At home, I did not have the injection to birth my placenta. And yet, in this 6th pregnancy, the most high risk one, I saw minimal blood loss in the pregnancy, but also faster and much quicker healing once my baby was born. And the only difference was that I'd had a lotus birth and kept the placenta in the room. So it's something for you to consider. But as I said, get this book because it's going to really help you to make and take that decision. So therefore, if you are having a hospital birth, then please ask your doctor to keep your placenta and take a bag with you that you can take it home. And then follow the steps in this book, how to look after it. And you can decide on whether you want to turn it into medicine, whether you want to eat it. The choice is yours.